Okay, welcome. This is the Blue Dog DIY website coaching call for May 2016. It's actually the first one we've done, so welcome to everybody. So today on the call, we have the wonderful Tegan. She's going to be talking about some of the theory behind ebooks and what to put in your ebook. So thanks for joining us, Tegan.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. So I guess I'll get straight into it. So this will be recorded and be available pretty shortly after the call. So some of the stuff will be blasting through pretty quickly, but you will be able to revisit it and pause and catch up with it as we go. So let me dive into my other screen here. Okay, so what we're going to do today is build a ebook opt-in page. Now this applies to any of your websites, but we're going to be using the general purpose theme as an example. So this here, the screen, this page you're looking at here, if I just check to make sure that, yes, that's correct, we're on the right screen, is an example. This is something that we're working on, and it's just simply a few headings, a pretty picture of a WordPress website editing manual, and a download now button. The only difference with ours is we're going to actually put in a proper opt-in where users can give you their name and email address, and you can capture those data, capture those contacts to add to your list to market to. Okay, so we'll dive right in. So this particular site here, the general purpose site, it has a green Learn More button up the top here. And someone's asked me, what do I do with that? So that's what prompted this. So first of all, we're going to build that page that we just showed you. So to do that, obviously we're logged in. Okay, I can see it says G'day Site Owner. So I'm going to go in from here, go into the dashboard. And then I'm going to click on Pages, which shows me all the pages on my website. And I click this Add New button. And I name my page, so I'm going to call it eBook Download. And I publish that page straight away. So I can then view the page and we'll see that it is actually empty. So all we're seeing here is our header at the top, which has the menu in it, and our footer, which has all our other information. And this is on every page of the website, the header and the footer. So the page we're looking at is actually completely empty. It's all just sitting inside this little tiny thin line here. So to put some content into it, we click on Page Builder. And this screen here is going to open up, and we're not going to use any templates. So we just simply hit cancel. And it says here, drop a row layout or module to get started. So over here under row layouts, I'm going to bring 2 columns in. So I just click and drag like that. And on the left-hand side, if you remember back here, we have a heading and then some text and then the button. On this side, we have the image. So to do that, just drag the heading module across and we type into here anything you like. So I'm going to put your ebook title goes here and click on save. Next, I want to just add some text, which we do with a text editor. I'll drag that under here. And I'm going to use this text here that we prepared earlier. Paste that into there and hit save. And I'm going to come back to the the email and name fields at the bottom, and I'm going to do my image. So I'm going to add content and click on, drag a photo into here, and it immediately opens up this panel. I click on select photo, and I'm going to upload the photo from my computer. It's one we prepared earlier. Desktop. It's on the desktop, and it's called WordPress Manual. Okay, so that's uploading now. And it shouldn't take too long, depending on your internet speed, of course. We then click select photo and then save. Okay, so we're kind of starting to get there, but we're not quite looking like that other page. So first up, I'm going to drag this across to make it smaller. Okay, and I want to center these two, all this text over here. So if I click on, sorry, I'll do that again. That was a bit quick. If I hover over it, if I click on the wrench, it goes into the settings, or I can just click anywhere inside it, does the same thing. So I'm going to go into the style and click center, and then hit save, and that'll center up. And the same with this one. Open up the settings, and I just click anywhere here, and then click this align center button, hit save. Okay, and just scroll back up. So we're starting to look pretty good here. So the next thing I will do is drag in what's called the, it's in the heading, and sorry, in the advanced modules, and it's called the subscribe form. Now this is really cool what this does. So we drag that across into, sit it under here, and okay, so we can see it, it's appeared there. Now first up, there's this service option here. Now you'll, in the opt-in part of the DIY club, you'll learn, there is more videos on this, but for today, I'm not going to connect it to any of these services. I'm just going to connect it to an email address, which is the simplest way just to get you up and running straight away. So I click on email address, and then account. I want to click add account, and then just put your name. So the account name could be anything. So I just upload Clark, and then your email address could be anything. Clark at Blue Dog Web Design, spelled correctly would be good, .com, and then click connect. Okay, so that's now hooked up. So whenever anyone fills this out, it will send an email to Clark, and then you can, in its simplest form, you can just manually email them that ebook. There are smarter ways to do that, but we won't cover that today. Our recommended platform is ActiveCampaign, but MailChimp certainly does the same thing as well. So you'll see here, the layout is called stacked, and we want to actually change that to inline to make it look a little bit better. And you'll see here that it's makes it look nicer on the page, puts the boxes next to each other. And we can also turn the name field off and on if we want. So if I hide that, it'll only give the email address, but I'm going to leave it on for now. We can also change the success action. So the way it's set up by default, it'll just tell the user, thanks for subscribing, please check your email for further instructions. Or you can get really fancy and do a redirect to, say, another page where you might say, you know, thank you for downloading, and maybe some instructions or another offer. Okay, but for the purposes of this, I just want to show that message. And click on save. Now, so I've got all the elements in there, but it is not quite looking the same as this. So if I look over here, I've got all this white space on each side. So how I achieve that is I go into the row settings. So when I hover over the row here, I click on the row settings, click advanced, and I want to add some padding. And I'm going to just guess and say 150 to the left and 150 to the right, and hit save. And now that's starting to look pretty good. We can fine tune it by just making this a little bit different shape, and that's pretty much good. So you could play around with this till the cows come home, but okay, maybe I will. I want to bring this text up a bit closer to the heading. So in the settings, just go into advanced, drop that margin back to 0. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Nice and basic, simple, and effective. So I'm going to click on Done and Publish Changes. And that page is complete, as simple as that. So you'd always obviously want to test all this, but before we won't go through that now. So that's obviously going to send an email. But the next one last thing to do to complete this is I need to copy and paste this URL up here. So it's a bit hard to see in my browser, but this will be your domain name with /ebook download on the end. So we want to copy all that text into the clipboard, and I need to link this button here. So to do that, I go into the dashboard, which you'll all be familiar with, and scroll down and click on Edit Header, and into the page builder. Just close this for now because I don't want that, and hover my mouse over here, and I can click on the wrench or just anywhere in there. Okay, what's happening? My mouse is playing up. Okay, what's happening? There we go. So the link is where we want to paste that. So we replace that little hash there with our link. And we can change this here to open in a new window or the same window. I'm just going to open the same window. And we might want to change that button to something like download ebook. And if we spell download correctly, it would be good. Okay, save that. Okay, see how it's made. It's broken the words onto 2 lines. I can just tweak that by bringing that slightly this way, and that looks nice and tidy again. Another way of fixing that would be to actually make the text smaller. Back in the button settings, font size, I could change that maybe to, it's not small, but depends on your application. Click save and make that a little bit wider. Okay, click done and publish changes. Okay, so that's it done. So if I now go back to my home page, click on the download ebook, and there it is. So the users just fill out name and email address, and that's it, finished. However, there's just one little thing that I've noticed. What it has done is it's automatically put that new page in the menu. Now I don't want that there, so I'm going to click on Customize and go into the menu. So down here, click on Menus, and in the main menu, I can see here this ebook download. So I just click this little arrow here, scroll down a little bit further, and then click Remove, and that's taken that out of there. So from here, click Save and Publish, and close that, and we're done. So we're good to go. Now we could have made that, kept that text a little bit bigger, but that's fine for us now. So Tegan's going to give you a quick run through on what ebooks are all about. You've probably heard about them. There's a bit of a buzzword at the moment around ebooks and having opt-ins and things, and a lot of people ask us, so what do I have in my ebook? So I'll pass you over to Tegan.
Hi everyone. So having an ebook, everyone's heard, you look on different websites and you see, download my ebook for free and in exchange for your email address. That's exactly what they are. Ebooks are a fantastic tool to build your database with, as long as they're actually valuable to your ideal client. So you must know what your ideal client wants in order to provide something that's valuable. Otherwise, it'll sit there and you'll basically hear crickets. So make sure that your ebook is short, usually about 4,500, 5,000 words, specific. Try, niche it down. So rather than just saying, how-to garden tips, make it something like, the 10 best ways to grow the best broccoli in the world, or something to that effect. So really try and niche it down as much as possible and make it as valuable as possible to your ideal client. So a lot of people go, well, that all makes sense, but what do I write about? So here's a few ideas. You can do an ebook on tips. The 10 tips to do this, or the 10 tips, or 101 tips, or 51 tips, or 21 tips. And you can get those tips from frequently asked questions from your customers. Most of you have been in your industry for quite some time, so you'll know what your customers ask again and again and again. If you don't, have a look at your blog posts and the comments that are going on those. And if you get stuck, interview one of your customers and say, what are 10 things that you'd really love to know? Another thing to do an ebook on is how to do this, how to do that, and to basically share your knowledge. So don't be afraid to share your knowledge. It's important to share what you know. It sets you up as an expert, and a lot of people will read it and go, oh, this is just much easier if I just hire this person to do it for me. And that's the whole idea of it. If you've got a product, then a how-to go with your product is great. So if you actually have a physical product, so how to, grow the best broccoli, and if you're selling broccoli seeds, then that's a great ebook to go with it. You can do a quotation book where everyone loves quotations, so get, a collection of quotations that are relevant to your industry, and then elaborate on each one of those as in your take on it, and that'll create a nice little ebook. You can also collaborate if you get stuck with other experts and share your resources. So write an ebook, with 5 other people and collaborate, and then each of you can actually put that on your own website. Now, when you are writing an ebook, I recommend like a mind map, and there's tools you can either get out a piece of butcher's paper and do a mind map, and if you don't know what that is, look it up. You can also use what's called Coggle, which is a software to do your mind map on your computer, so it's with you anywhere, and that's Coggle. Now, if you really aren't someone that really likes to write, the other thing that you can do is record it into your phone. Have someone ask you the top 10 questions that your customers ask you, and then just record the answers in your phone, and then just type them up from your phone. It's really, really easy. Now, once you've written your ebook, it's really important that you read it out loud to yourself, or to someone else is even better. But read it out loud, because when you read things out loud, you actually hear what you're saying, and it's surprising how different it is to what you think you were writing down at the time. And always remember, production over perfection. You actually know more than you think you do. So write it and believe that you actually, you just, rather than procrastinating, just get it done and get it out there. And you can always improve on it later. And last but not least, use Canva. I love Canva because I'm not a graphic designer, far from it. So Canva, Canva.com. And it's where you can design everything from memes to brochures to ebooks to everything. I absolutely love it. So Canva to design your actual, make your book look pretty if it's relevant to look pretty, or manly if it's relevant to looking manly, or green if it's relevant to gardens, and put a nice image on the front of it. So hope that helps you to actually write your ebook. And Clark's already shown you then how to load it up, and utilize it to build your business and build your database. Thanks so much for listening.
Awesome. Thanks, Tegan. So nice and short one today, I think. If there's any questions, and if you can find the chat box in the Google Hangout, the top, if you mouse over your screen, the top left hand, there's a little blue chat icon. So if you click on that, it should open the chat panel. And if you've got any questions, concerns, anything you need to ask, I know Vicky, you just sent in a support request about some problems with your slider, and I'll answer that in an email unless you want to get on now and have a look at that. But I think, yes, I will just wait for any questions that might come in. Looks like everyone's being pretty quiet. Everything must be running smoothly. But I hope you're all having a lot of fun with your websites. We certainly enjoying watching what you guys are creating. It's some of them are looking very, very good. In fact, they're all looking really good. Okay, I think we'll wrap it up there. So this recording will be online in the next few days, and you'll be able to review what I've done if it went a bit quickly for you. But having this ebook opt-in really is a great first step to actually getting your website being your best sales employee. So with that, I think we'll wrap it up. So wait, you're going to wrap it up, Tegan? You can do that first.
I was just going to say I'll pop these details on how to write an ebook into a blog post and pop that on the website too for you. So
that sounds great.
Okay,
so
till next time.
Thanks, Tegan, and I'm Clark Marshall from Blue Dog DIY Websites, and thanks for being here on our very first coaching call, and we'll look forward to speaking to you all next month, if not before. Thanks very much.